Aisha, the president made a big show out of seated Democrats again when they all stayed seated during a riff on soft on crime prosecutors and the president's recognition of the mother of murdered Irina Zaretsky.
Zaretsky, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand?
The Democrats did stand en masse, and a USA chant filled the chamber at the first sight of the gold medal winning U.S. hockey team.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
President Trump only gets to see Supreme Court justices altogether once a year. And even though his language towards them was toned down compared to last week when he talked tariffs being struck down, he let them have it.
An unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling.
Three of the most emotional moments of the night. The president gave a Medal of Honor to Chief Warrant Officer Eric Slover, wounded while leading the heroic raid to capture and arrest Nicolas Maduro. Then the president gave Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, the West Virginia National Guardsman shot in the head in D.C. in November, a Purple Heart. And he recognized World War II, Korea, and Vietnam vet Royce William.
Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves.
And all of this fits in with the theme that was woven throughout the speech, that it's America's 250th birthday. Aisha.
Crime down, stocks up, that's the way we like it, Trump. Border on lock, gas is low, the fentanyl flow down, enemies are slow down, this is how we dominate. Guess what, everything will be okay. Guess what day, it is.
That is disgusting.
Get it all.
Go! It looks like I have been sleeping in an airport, because I have been sleeping in an airport, and we went straight to the studio to be live for you this morning, rocking and rolling, baby. We are back in Tampa. We were leaving the Capitol at midnight last night after President Trump's historic State of the Union, the best State of the Union I've ever heard, and an unbelievable kinetic bombshell of gravitational energy. You could feel it. You could feel the gravitational energy shift. You could feel it. Democrats walked right into the president's traps. He lured them in. They took the bait. They made fools of themselves. They offer nothing to the American people. And Donald Trump offered everything. Showed the best of America and the worst of America on demonstration. Ilhan Omar screeching and shrieking from her seat. Multiple Democrats are dragged out of the chamber. Donald Trump in a tour de force. And we thank you for joining us. Last night, we had 2.7 million total live viewers across platforms. And so we are deeply appreciative for you and your support. It was a wonderful evening from inside of the speaker's office, a very cool office, very neat experience. We love taking you with us in that experience. This is kind of where we were in the U.S. Capitol. I know it's like a big building. This is the door. These are the doors that Donald Trump walks through, right, to walk onto the floor of the House of Representatives. We travel through there. Hey, Ronnie Jackson, what's up, dude? through the old chamber of the House of Representatives. That's where all the media is. This is the dome of the Capitol. And then up into the Speaker's office. If you want to see where we're going, so we go up into the Speaker's office, and then up a little stairwell, and that was where we were broadcasting last night. Very neat, very much a privilege, and something that, of course, we work hard on taking you with us. When we do these kind of things, we don't want to ever gatekeep our audience. We tell you what we know. We probably say too much every once in a while. Gets us in trouble. But we redline for you. This was us going right up to where we were broadcasting. There you go. This is one of these little like ornate rooms. You could meet a head of state in here. You could meet millions of you who watched online. We just want to say a massive, massive thank you. I'm going to be doing more of this. We're going to have a little bit of, we're going to have a chat like at the end of the month about what we're going to be doing for people that want to support the program, want to support the show. If you do want to support us, you can sign up for memberships on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, people ask all the time. But honestly, for us, it's just absolutely critical that we continue to fight with the kind of energy that won us 2024, especially after last night. Because you begin to see, you kind of like a clarifying evening. You can see what's at stake, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about it today with Rudy Giuliani and Senator Eric Schmidt, who was front row last night. Very excited to join the show. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. American financing can make sure that you have a golden future in this golden era. I really do believe that things are going to, there's like going to be a sea change here. It's been a wild start to 2026. The gold medalists coming into the chamber last night kind of sets the nation on fire and unites. And also the reorientation of the country on domestic policy wins instead of more wars. It's been great. You know, yesterday, the home mortgage prices ticked below 6%. This is a massive victory, obviously, for the administration. You got to get those mortgage prices down. You got to get the cost of lending and money down, more access into the economy. People who can get trapped inside of spiraling debt and spiraling credit card debt, specifically high interest credit card debt, can really lose everything, but especially opportunity, which is the most critical thing that you do not want to lose. American financing can help you out with that. Call America's home for home loans into American financing at 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219. They can make sure that you get out of debt. You can seize that American dream yourself. AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. Trump played it masterfully last night. Greatest State of the Union in my lifetime or yours. That's just a matter of fact. It's also a matter of polling fact. You can see the approval ratings for the State of the Union. Oh, this is a good one. Trump wins gold. That's great. This is the front cover of the New York Post. Perfect. Trump wins gold, goes gold with the incredible golden boys of the U.S. hockey team. The chamber roared. It's a powerful, powerful, and special moment. Of course, Donald Trump brought them out to mog the press. It was amazing. People loved it. It was I don't know if we have if we want to like play the clip, might as well just toss it over to it. And this is let's go ahead and hear. Go ahead and listen. This is them coming out last night with their medals. Something that is critical happening here is the team is walking out in the press area of the chamber. So this is again the team walking out in front of the press, and the press is just sitting there gooning, angry, and he's kind of like rubbing it in their faces here. The press, of course, hated this. This was one of the many master strokes of President Trump. Here's Donald Trump in the Oval Office. Donald Trump ate a gold medal yesterday. I don't know if we have that photo, but it's amazing. President Trump put the medal on. There it is. Perfect, Klein. Thank you. Put the medal on. Look at him go. and was wearing the gold medal inside of the office. Maximum drip for Team America, the American gold medal hockey winners. Here they are out of the front portico of the White House. Very cold in D.C. yesterday, but they ain't feeling it, man. The ice boys were absolutely, completely, and totally mogging Donald Trump. Look at this photo. I'm gonna stop using this. I will stop using just Gen Z, Gen Alpha, a Zoomer coded language. I will, but like this is frame mogging. That's what this is. They're mogging Trump. Trump's having every bit of it. They give President Trump a jersey there. Donald Trump wore a gold medal. It was amazing. And then, of course, that moment last night sort of sealed the deal right up front for President Trump. Because Trump says, wait a second. Like, it's weird that Democrats are actually standing and applauding for this, except for not all of you stood up and applauded. And that's something that Trump's going to use against the Democrats all night long, baby. President Trump, approval for the speech. This is a CNN poll. Whoa. So this isn't even like a pollster who's like some, like a friendly, the CNN pollster ain't going to come on our live stream. This is a CNN poll. Positive 63%, negative 30%. Okay, that's like kind of the breakdown of the country, frankly. There's 30% of the country. This is how you need to operate functionally. There's 30% of the country that hates President Trump. And that, well, he can never do anything. Never do anything. He could invent, I don't know, flying cars, cure cancer. What are some of the most popular things that you could do as a human being? Right? Save all the puppies. And these 30% of people would gulag Trump if they could. They tried to. They'd shoot him in the head if they could. They tried to, and they celebrated it. They celebrated Trump assassination attempts. These are the kind of people who openly on stage, the guitarist from Tenacious D did this, said he wants for his birthday wish that the snipers get better aim so they can kill Trump. That's what they said. These are the kind of people. So that's what they think. They're black little dark hearts, and these people are. You should never consider their opinions. These are the nastiest, worst people to have as friends, family members. They probably don't have any family members. They probably look completely, have a broken family. Nobody visits them on Christmas. They're miserable, miserable people living in a polycule in Portland. Part-time baristas. It's gross. Anyway. They're awful. But the rest of the country that can have an open mind on these kind of things and doesn't like sit there, rocking back and forth like in a state of TDS, and Nazi, Trump, Nazi, Trump, K. Like, if you're not one of those people, then you like the speech. And this is according to CNN. So this is a wild victory for the president. Ooh, man. Okay, so there's so much going on in this speech. I think we should start with Al Green, because this is like the first time that Democrats sort of acted up. Al Green popping off with his "Black people aren't apes." So you have the ability to write anything on a sign. Al Green, member of Congress, not for long. He's going to lose his seat in Texas. We just looked at the numbers for that. Al Green is finished, by the way. So this is his last State of the Union. You have the ability to write anything on this piece of paper and get, frame mogged by Trump here, right? You get a chance to have Trump in frame and you hold up a piece of paper. And this is what you choose to say? This is what you've decided is going to be your message to the world? Black people aren't apes. This is why Congress has such a low approval rating. Because it is, and the late Charlie Kirk warned about this, it is theater kids. Congress is generally made up of the reprobate theater kids, the most annoying kids in school. The kids are way too emotional, angsty. The kids who always felt like, there's just like they're just fragile, right? They weren't the athletes. They were always like hanging out in the dark, the dark back corners of some stage, or closet somewhere. These are the people that make up Congress. I spent all day in Congress yesterday. Well, we spent a couple hours in Congress yesterday. We just arrived 2 hours before the live stream. It's my fault. I said it was my fault. Anyway, like, this is the message. This is what you're going to go with. This is going to, like, you're going to have one chance to send a true piece of thought into the ether, into the world, by holding up a sign with President Trump in frame. And black people aren't apes, is what you go with.
Never go full retard.
It's perfect. Al Green was dragged kicking and screaming from the well of the House. Not sure if we have that or not. We have this video. I don't know if we have the Al Green. I think it was only like a couple frames. But Al Green did get kicked out because he wouldn't stop yapping. They had the sergeant at arm. Is in this clip? Okay, let's go ahead and let's see. He gets dragged out in this clip. Way to go, dude! Shoot your shot. Oh yeah, then he gets.
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back.
Oh, man.
Today, our border is secure.
How humiliating. Okay. That was only a couple minutes into the speech. So you got his sign ripped away. Troy Nels was on our you did this. You did this, chat. You did it. You gave Troy Nels the energy to rip that sign away. Because you were watching, because you were there, and he was right. He came right from our show. The last place Troy Nels was before he ripped that sign down was on our stream. It's probably like less than an hour between that moment and here. And so Troy Nels, like absolute boss man, doing great. Got his tie signed by Trump, too, that legendary Trump tie. Got his tie signed by Trump. Anyway. Well done. He was kicked out. Ilhan Omar was not. Multiple members of Congress are now saying Ilhan Omar should be kicked out of the country. Randy Fine is actually up saying you need to be deported now for the way that you behaved last night. Let's go ahead and watch how Ilhan Omar behaved last night. As President Trump is talking about illegals, and it is, again, a total and complete masterstroke by the president. He looked right at Ilhan Omar and spoke directly about Somali fraudsters. Absolute alpha energy right here. Let's go.
Great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Wow. Just look at it. Just look at it. No Democrats stood up. No one. They didn't even stand for the American government should protect Americans and not criminal aliens. Whoa. You want to talk about being the master of the craft. You want to talk about a master class. This is how it's done. Use the visuals of the room. Bounce a rubber ball, rubber room it. We do that sometimes around here when we ideate on stuff, trying to figure problems out. You rubber room it. You bounce the ball off and you see what comes back. Look at this. What an image. Trump goes, you like Americans or you like criminal aliens from Somalia and Guatemala? And the Democrats are like, we like the Guatemala and Somalia. They have nice daycares. We learn from them. It's beautiful. It's the master class. Here we go.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Woo. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be deported, says Randy Fine. Go ahead and check this out. He has ratioed Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar tweeted, "Donald Trump killed 2 of my constituents. He is a liar. He should be ashamed of himself." No. First off, let's do a very quick fact check here. Donald Trump didn't kill 2 of your constituents. Whatever you think about the operation in Minneapolis, 2 of your constituents decided to attack armed law enforcement agents. If you do that anywhere in America, whether it's the local police, whether it's the security guard at your Walmart. Okay, so you ever go to a Walmart inside of like a urban center or a dangerous part of town? These Walmarts will hire private security. This private security has a license to be armed. Sometimes when we travel to places, we have private security. Not all the time, but if we're going to a place that we're pretty sure, like places in California where we've been robbed before on the street, we have $500,000 worth of camera equipment with us. We're filming. Yeah, we're going to hire people to make sure it doesn't get stolen. They have guns. Attack them enough, you'll die. If you attack the Walmart security enough, you'll die. These Walmart security guys, these private security guys, they carry guns. There's a not so safe part of town where I live. The Walmart has a private security dude. Anyway, you go up and you attack them. Trust me, in Florida, they'll give them a medal for shooting you graveyard dead. If you take a brick and try and hit that guy, if you take your car, so Renee Good, what did she do? She used her car to try and run over an ICE agent. If I tried to do that, the Walmart security shoots me, they give him a medal. Alex Preddy, what does he do? He's physically, violently attacking the cars. He's violently attacking the cops. He's physically fighting, resisting arrest. He had a gun on him. Like, do that anywhere in America and you'll find out. Democrats, of course, have weaponized that. Seemingly, they've dropped it about it. They've dropped all that about as fast as they know that they were like ultimately losing on those points. Well, America didn't exactly like the tactics. Like they couldn't win on the actual merits. Don Lemon's now getting sued by the church that he stormed. That's awesome. Democrats are losing big time. They know this. Also, what happened to the Ilhan Omar, attack with the guy who sprayed, haram vinegar on her? Like, what did happen there? What happened to that attack? Boy, we stopped talking about that fast. Shucks. Guy's got a couple of trans kids and, like total right-wing Republican, all right? Dude jumps up and then runs immediately into the arms of Ilhan Omar security. Ilhan Omar acts all tough. What happened there? We don't hear about this anymore. Very strange. Very strange. It's like it just completely disappeared when everybody obviously called this out as the hoax that it was. Yeah. Well, Ilhan Omar hoaxing again, saying that Trump killed 2 of her constituents. They didn't. These 2 constituents behaved in a manner that was egregiously criminal against armed law enforcement. And that's what would happen and virtually anywhere in America. Is you do that enough, you'll end up getting shot. So, Randy Fine says you should be deported. And is cooking Ilhan Omar here. Ilhan Omar's post has 9,000 reposts. From Randy Fine, which was posted one last night, has 4.3. So, on its way. Ilhan Omar locked the comments on her post. Locked the comments. No one can comment. Isn't that something? Free speech. Should be illegal. Hey, Alex, should it be illegal for members of Congress to lock their comments? Come on. All right. Anyway, President Trump torched Ilhan Omar by declaring a war on fraud. And then watch President Trump's body language here. He positions himself on the dais, like directly towards Ilhan Omar, stared directly down the barrel at her. You'll never get another one like Donald Trump. You never get another one like this. The guy is like this guy. You'll never get another one. I mean, the stones on this guy. So watch him position himself directly at Ilhan Omar and say, you and your Somali fraud third worlder communities steal, loot, and plunder from America, and we're going to stop it. And we're also going to stop more of the third world from coming here to parasitically steal and plunder again. This is a critical moment from last night. Watch this.
When it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance. He'll get it done. And if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commentary over this, clearly the rallying cry, and the administration knows they're going to win on this. And I had this conversation with somebody that is really good in the media space, and that just really understands these victory, right, in PR. Let's just say it has a ton of PR victories under their belt. Is a PR, public relations professional. It's got a lot of people out of a lot of jams. Anyway, they told me that it's just the reason the Somali fraud thing hit so hard is that there's nobody that is less sympathetic than somebody who comes here from Somalia that brings their culture, which, as we have detailed on this show, time and time, the data shows it. It's not just us being mean, right? Or our priors. It's literally backed by hard data that Somalia is the world's epicenter for inbreeding, for cousin marriages. Somalia, Pakistan. Like, it is a backwards culture ruled entirely by Sharia law, piracy, theft, corruption, child brides, sectarian, tribal violence. It is the worst possible place to live in the world. That's according to the world. That's according to the United Nations. These people bring that culture here, and then because of paperwork, they're called an American. Paperwork doesn't make you an American. That's my favorite tweet actually of the night. Paperwork doesn't make you an American. There's something, there has to be something more. There has to be. This is what we have been constantly saying. Incompatible with Western civilization is perhaps a more polite way of saying it. But either way, just because somebody pushed a few documents through a couple of processors doesn't make you an American. And that idea has been a nightmare for our country. We used to have a really nice and functional country. We used to have a very sturdy, very stable country that has stable society and culture until we decided to bring in people that were incompatible with our culture. And name whatever you want. Sharia law. I mean, again, Sharia law at its core is can't operate in America. You pray towards a foreign country. You don't believe in freedom of speech. You don't believe in freedom of religion. You don't believe in freedom of association. Look at how Christians are treated in Muslim countries. Look at how Christians are treated all throughout the Mideast or any type of like Boko Haram controlled area of Africa. No, you can't have those things. Why would we ever bring in populations that believe in that stuff? It's going to work out terribly for us. It worked out, of course, horribly for Europe and everywhere else that's tried it. You know, our ancestors were way smarter than that. And they had really stringent tests on who got to come here. And being an American was far more about where do you come from? Like, what is your traditions? What is the guiding principles of your life? Are they compatible with the guiding legal documents in our country? Dude, I think you could work really, really hard and you could immigrate to Japan. Every country allows some immigration. Some countries are very, very strict, but every country allows some immigration. Does that make you Japanese? No, it does not. I'm sorry, but me getting a piece of paper, so I'm like, I'm gonna build a business in Japan or whatever. And they push a piece of paper at me that says I can legally stay in Japan and get the rights of a citizen of Japan. Does that make me Japanese? If I went on the stream and said, I'm Japanese, I would never do this. I love America too much. Never do it. I would never go anywhere. I love America too much. I literally don't travel. When we were in DC, I don't like ever leaving the country. I barely like leaving Florida. Does that make me Japanese? Why is it only America where people assume this? It doesn't. That just doesn't work. You extrapolate that to China. You could extrapolate that to Saudi Arabia, or whatever, wherever you want to go. It just doesn't. And you know that in your bones, and people know that. Why is that? Well, it's kind of like the way that I look. That's just the way that God, it's the way that God makes you. But it's way deeper than that. That's the surface level stuff. It's about who you are from your worldview and your traditions. What knit you together? What ideas knit you together? And that's why people are like, no, this isn't American, obviously. It's not. Real James Woods. Love this guy. What a legend. Hollywood legend. Send brother Humper home to shithole Somalia. Okay. That's another way to say it. Caroline Lovett just sharing this article. J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller say Democrats showed searing disdain, refusing to stand for Americans. Yes, they did. They refused to stand for the Save America Act. Donald Trump going in hard on the Save America Act. It's obviously something big that we've been hyping constantly on this channel. Needed to be done. Asked multiple senators about it yesterday. We had Senator Kennedy on our program. And McCormick. Oh, man. Such an awesome stream last night. Thank you for being part of it. Here's what you watched. Donald Trump saying what we said earlier in the show. Gotta save America. Let's go.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act. to stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. The cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%.
Easy. It's easy. We talked about the senators. We talked to the senators last night about this. It's easy. But they better do it. Now, people tell me, I hear that it's going to be happening soon. That they're going to be pressing the talking filibuster soon in the Senate. And that Republicans who have gotten a masterclass from Mike Lee, who was on the show yesterday morning, that they're going to go forward with it, because I mean, to not get it done would be bad. It would be so demoralizing to the base, and you have to boomerang off of this energy and use it for good. Republicans use it for good. We have a senator joining us in just a moment, Senator Schmidt. So anyway, Donald Trump, and just banger after banger, home run derby after home run derby, the dunk contest. Here we go. Donald Trump winning the dunk contest right here. These people are crazy.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
Take that, Roe.
Amazing. Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
Could you imagine going to a party with these people? Look at how miserable they are all. Look at these mugs. Look at these harpies. Look at these broads. Look at this. Not a single one of them could run a mile or get up a flight of stairs. Slobs, doughy, weak, effeminate, estrogenetic. The total longhouse pictured here. Look at this. You got an opportunity to send a message to the whole world. To tell the whole world the idea that you have in your head. Here's the idea I have in my head, world. Black people aren't apes. What? Al Green. Never change, dude. Never change. He is going to change. He's going to lose the seat. Never change. Nancy Pelosi. Thankfully, Nancy, who's 85, was so enamored last night. She doesn't remember this moment. But it's a bad one, man. Donald Trump, full scale, mogs Pelosi because of her insider trading. And now this is a remarkable moment. What we have seen in this very cruel sport of politics is that and it's always been this way, but the young eat the old. Klein says this about UFC. Happens in politics. The young have eaten the old. And when you are not politically useful, you get discarded. And that is exactly what has happened to Nancy Pelosi. She has been discarded by the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party voted to hold the Clintons in contempt. They have now thrown Nancy Pelosi into the wood chipper. They did so live last night when Donald Trump talked about insider trading, and Democrats joined in like scolding Pelosi for this and attacking her and booing her. You could tell. Democrats were booing Pelosi last night. Check this out.
We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year as we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market. Let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
Beautiful. Listen to this. I mean, everyone's clapping. We got Liz Warren clapping there. Chris Coons.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she was here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay. I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's great. Oh, man. What a blast. What a blast last night was. Again, it was so fun to watch it. You could hear the roars from inside of the halls of Congress. I mean, again, we were not inside of the chamber. It was very limited seating. Once you get all of the members of representatives there, you can't even fit all of the media. You can't even fit all of the guests inside. There's just very few seats. Again, we were inside of the speaker's office. That's where our live was. It was amazing, and you could hear the chamber roaring. For instance, Donald Trump talking about Charlie and his legacy here in a extremely emotional moment.
To say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man. So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand. Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
The fact that Erica was sitting next to Irina Zastruka's mom there, it just cuts deep, man. It just cuts deep. Never forget who these monsters are. They killed Charlie Kirk, and then they celebrated it, and we watched. We saw them do it. These evil demons. They're still attacking Erica, and we pray for her. She's there next to Irina Zastruka's mother. This is the woman in the dark hair, the dark jet black hair, who is kind of like the spitting image of her beautiful daughter. She was, of course, slain just days before Charlie was slain by a similar ideology, by an ideology that celebrates and worships violence, evil, truly exactly what we are fighting. To sit them both together like that, oh man, it gave me chills. It made me very angry. It gave me great resolve to remember what we were fighting for. And it should give you a lot of resolve too. What are we fighting for? Who fights among us here, ladies and gentlemen, from Pete Hegseth? Hero! Freaking awesome, man. This man getting the medal, getting the Medal of Honor. Eric Slover, Medal of Honor, received it live at the State of the Union. Let's go ahead and listen and watch. I want President Trump, hopefully this has President Trump's explanation of this man's heroic deeds. Let's go.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
This is a man who was wounded during the Maduro raid. The helicopter pilot, one of the helicopters received damage, gunfire damage, or some type of munition damage. He was able to pilot the craft without killing anyone. They were able to change crafts, and he again sustained injuries. You can see him there in it looks like a walker. But I don't know what I don't know the totality of the injuries, but remarkable moment. The difference has never been more on full display, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, we will get to the Democrats' response here in just 1 second. Armra, ladies and gentlemen, is a wonderful way to ensure that you are getting the bionutrients that you need directly from the source where God put them. First, colostrum is packed with over 400 bioactive nutrients that help fortify your gut health, fuel fitness recovery, and strengthen your immune system, supporting your best performance every single day. Get help taking back control of your life. Your body isn't broken, it just needs the right inputs. Obviously, sun, exercise, good vitamins, and good food. Colostrum, I mix it into my coffee every single morning. It is great for you, and you feel great when you drink it. You'll see the change. It's awesome. We've worked on a special offer for you. Receive 30% off your first subscription order. Go to armra.com/Benny and enter the code Benny for 30% off your subscription order. That's armra.com/Benny. And start feeling better today. We got, I don't know, Klein, how many, maybe 3 hours of sleep last night? A 5 a.m. flight. Yeah, whatever. We're proud to be part of history. It was a beautiful history last night. There was no history made on the Democrat side of the aisle. I mean, maybe bad, infamous, They had Spanberger and CIA plant Spamberger, who was in Virginia, giving a very low energy speech. She had she couldn't even read the words on teleprompter. Let's listen.
But as the president spoke of his perceived successes tonight, he continues to cede economic power and technological strength to Russia, bow down to China, bow down to a Russian dictator, and make plans for war with Iran.
Okay, you must be like Gavin Newsom. The school for children who can't read, good. I can't read. I got Gavin Newsom to a black audience in Atlanta. I'm like you, I can't read. What? Dude, where was Al Green and his sign You know, the next Gavin Newsom rally. Ironic that Gavin Newsom wasn't the one who was chosen to do the State of the Union response. Isn't that interesting? That's the dog that ain't barking right now. Okay, we'll see. What else? There was a Democrat State of the Union, an alternate State of the Union, called the Real State of the Union, and it had approximately 75 people at it, 25 of which were reporters from national corporate media outlets, publicly funded outlets, no doubt, that were there to cover this humiliating, whatever the hell you would call this. I don't really know. They had dudes in frog suits, I guess. What?
And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Huh? No, I want an explanation.
Trump. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
What's going on? What is this? Like, how is this real?
I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade.
Alex Jones was right. Frogs are all gay. Alex Jones was right. How many times can we say it on the program? The frogs are gay. They've been turned gay in Portland. Joy Reid started singing, I guess, on stage. Here we go. This is what else is. This is what else. Oh.
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. No pueden encarcelarnos a todas.
I haven't had enough sleep for this. I haven't had enough coffee. And it's like not.
I think I did okay. You did amazing. Yes.
Okay. This is what you're missing.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Hey, team, go to Alex Padilla's. Alex Padilla did a Spanish response to the State of the Union. I was watching this. I was looking at it this morning. I was howling with laughter. It got like 10 views. It got 10 views. I could right now post a photo of like Klein who hasn't showered, I think, in a day, and like get 200,000x the number of views that Alex Padilla's Spanish State of the Union got. Please go to the I think it's Senate Democrats page, and it's I want to see exactly what it's. Oh, is that it? Yeah, there you go. Spanish language response. How many views is that? 65 retweets. 100 likes. English. Do you speak it? Yeah. All right. Okay. This is great. Let's look at. Let's go. Let's see what does it say. Wonder if he's crying again. Yeah. Okay. All right. What? Wait a second. Hold on. Did they put English subtitles on his Spanish language State of the Union? What a clown car! All right. That's great. Okay, fantastic. All right, one more. The Trump supporters crashing. Let's go. Trump supporters crash the sad Democrat protest here of Donald Trump. Let's go.
This is the moment. This is the reason that she came here to the United States, to speak truth to power, to explain the trials and tribulations that every immigrant, that every refugee goes through to get here, and to press this country to
the border. I stuck at the border. Go Trump! Go Trump! Hey Murphy, you're a scumbag.
Thanks, man. Thanks, buddy.
Actually, this is for the guy that stormed the stage. Way to go, buddy! That's awesome. Should have been us, man. It should have been us. What were we doing? Klein. Could have been us. All right, here we go. Let's rock and roll. We have a senator is ready to jump on. Senator Schmidt. Yes? Sorry, guys. I was just having too much fun. Sorry, Senator Schmidt. From the great state of Missouri, Senator Schmidt is joining the program. He was front and center last night, if I do recall. So let's get his take from the House floor, Trump State of the Union. Senator Schmidt, I'm sorry, I'm just having too much fun. Like, I apologize.
Benny, listen. I'm in this whatever you call it, virtual green room or whatever, listening to all of this, and I'm just laughing my ass off. You got the Price is Right horn. You got, I mean, this is really good stuff. So it's good.
We've been adding sound effects to these Democrat clips. It really.
And the dude who crashed the Murphy thing, I mean, it's just like beyond belief. It's incredible. So.
Oh man, what does it say? I like to pop that up, Klein. What does it say that Democrats who, Senator, you could post a out of focus photo of that MAGA hat and get 20 times the number of viewers that the the Spanish language State of the Union got in English subtitles.
Yeah,
Why
right.
are there English subtitles? What is this?
Yeah, and then what was the frog? Like the Oregon frog people? What was that? I don't know. I didn't see it, but I was listening to your thing, and it's like I gotta see that visual.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really, it's really embarrassing. It's why we actually have this sound effect in our array.
Never go for retard.
You know, that's from Tropic Thunder.
I'm partial to the Price is Right horn. I like the Price is Right horn. Keep that.
So what?
Inject that in my veins.
Democrats have nothing, dude. Like, okay, so what was it like last night? Let's start with that. Like, what was it like last night?
Sure, I think that this is only my fourth time in the room for that, and I'd always just watched it on TV. I think for your viewers, it's a very intimate room. It's smaller than you think. It looks bigger on television. And so you can kind of feel the energy. You can see the disdain on and the pain on Democrat voices because you're that close to people, or their faces. And I thought that President Trump, I've seen him give a lot of speeches. I thought this was one of his best. I really did. And here's why. I think he laid the groundwork for the disaster that we saw. 15 million people come here illegally, 9% inflation, this kind of America Last policy. His historic comeback, objectively the success that's been laid down. The inflation numbers are below 3% now. We have a secure border. We're respected around the world. And then laid out an optimistic vision in America 250. And then did one more thing. He effectively, this is hard to do, with one question, laid out the contrast between the two parties with a common sense question, which is, hey, stand up if you believe that American government is here to support American citizens, not illegal immigrants. Republicans stood up and Democrats refused. Like, I can't overstate culturally, politically, how effective that is. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a campaign ad in the midterms, because you can talk about a lot of these issues, whatever, but if you're not rooting for America, if you don't believe American citizenship come before illegal immigrants, I don't know what to say. Good luck with that at election time. So he did all those things very effectively in that speech, and it was pretty remarkable.
It was a very rowdy speech. I guess Al Green got dragged out. We saw Democrats getting up and leaving. It's very disrespectful. What about Ilhan Omar? She got into a screaming match with Donald Trump. Senator?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. So I thought you were going to play a clip. Yeah.
Yeah. We were actually loading up a clip, but yeah, okay. So Ilhan Omar gets it, and she yells at Donald Trump. She was yelling, I don't know what they were saying, KKK or whatever.
And they had like F-ICE buttons.
Trump then turned the room around on her, which was wild, and really sharp, and like the exact opposite, I guess, of what Joe Biden did when it was Lauren Boebert yelling at him. But yeah, what was this moment?
Well, he was talking about the Somali pirates, fleecing taxpayers, which I thought was a very effective analogy. But But yeah, look, what their strategy was, I guess, was some people didn't show up, some people walked out early, some people were heckling. All those things are so disrespectful, and it doesn't play well, I don't think, with the American people. And you got to remember, they stood up for a few things, but two things they refused to stand up for was the question about, is government's role to protect American citizens or illegal immigrants, and then also on like photo ID, like proving who you are when you go vote. Like, it's no coincidence those things are related for Democrats. And so you've got one party that is this kind of return to common sense, as President Trump talked about in his second inaugural address a little over a year ago. And then a party that seemingly is rooting against America and actually is kind of ashamed to be American and kind of sneers at middle America, where I'm from, right? Like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, I mean, they called, bitter clingers and deplorables, and then Joe Biden called them trash. People remember that. And so President Trump has been this vessel to say, you know what, I'm sticking up for the forgotten men and women of this country. I think that came through in that speech last night too, reminding people of, this is who they are. Here's who we are. Are we completely out of the woods on this? No, but we're building the foundation here where people are earning more money now because inflation's down. We have a secure border. Crime is down. Fentanyl deaths are down. These are all really positive markers that we should be proud of.
So, Senator, there was something that really pissed me off, and that Megyn Kelly was banging on about this, and she's right, which is that the producers, you're not allowed to like bring all your news cameras into that room. There's only one feed. So we all have to watch the same feed. And it does seem like they were skewing a bit, not showing Democrat reactions, because they know how bad it was going to look when Democrats weren't standing and applauding for widows and for Medal of Honor winners. And there was this, there were very few times when the producers of this feed that's given all the networks cut in on Democrats and their antics. And so maybe you could color this for us. Like, did Democrats like stand up and applaud for some of these like heroic American stories? Or were they like kind of rude? Were they like glued to their seats most of the night?
I think last year, remember last year, they didn't stand for anything. They didn't stand up for angel moms who had their children murdered by illegal immigrants. They didn't stand up for a kid who was battling cancer. Like, I think that was insane. So they did stand up for a few things. I didn't know if they would stand up for Team USA or not, the hockey team, or not. They did for that. But at least what I saw, the coverage, I'm glad that at least that arm camera thing that swings around the chamber there, when President Trump said, hey, we stand up, whatever that is called, that they did capture that. That is, I don't know, like, I know that we kind of exaggerate things sometimes, but like, it's hard to believe that anybody in this country would say that government is there to protect illegal immigrants more than it is for American citizens. That's a pretty radical thing to espouse. And they couldn't. I mean, they could have stood up for that too, because they stood up for some other stuff, but they wouldn't stand up for that. So again, I just think it goes to show how radicalized this party's become. This is no longer the party. Like that same State of the Union, what would it have been, over 30 years ago, which is a generation ago. Yep. Bill Clinton was talking about securing the border and deportations and the sovereignty of this country. They do not talk about that now. They don't believe that now, Benny. And so, you're dealing with some really important stakes here with each and every election when you have one party that ultimately wants to undermine the sovereignty of this great country.
Okay, so very important stakes. I know you got to run, Senator, but like the SAVE Act got a huge ringing endorsement from the president. Obviously, Democrats use their voter ID in order to vote against voter ID. I find that hysterical. Found out this morning that Somalia has voter ID. That's great. It's remarkable that Ilhan Omar isn't in support of it. Somalia has mandatory voter ID to vote in their elections. Really exciting. Got to show a passport.
And by the way, Benny, you actually have to show two forms of ID in New York City to help shovel snow, right, for that job. So these guys are insane.
Yeah, okay. I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. We know exactly what they're doing. They're cheating in elections. So what's going to happen in the Senate? Are we going to be able to get this over the line, the Save America Act?
I hope so. I was actually sitting right next to Mike Lee, and we were both thrilled that the president gave a specific shout out on that and said that's something we should be doing right now. I think it's going to take a level of commitment to not just have it on the floor, but to spend the time. And certainly he's talked about this talking filibuster, because I think a lot of people think that a filibuster in the U.S. Senate means it's like a Jimmy Stewart kind of moment in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It's not like that at all. It's kind of like kabuki theater. It's like there's 60 votes, you punch the clock, and it is or it isn't. But I do think we should make them earn it. I do think we should spend the requisite time to wear them down on this thing. I think you wouldn't do that for every issue. You wouldn't do that for some like banking bill or something. But this is the reason why it's called the Save America Act. And I can tell you, I played golf with President Trump a couple weeks ago. He's very focused on this. I think our party should be focused on this. I know the grassroots is focused on it. So hopefully we spend the time to get it done.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, listen, man, like Republican voters are just going to be so depressed. I think this is going to be something. I don't think they understand. It's going to be like the Epstein files. I think there's like a misalignment with how hyped up people are for the Save America Act and how humiliating it's going to be if it doesn't get done. Yeah.
In our conference, I try to bring that perspective that, hey, this unique coalition that President Trump put together, you can't take it for granted. And so sometimes people talk about the 1 or 2% of, whatever you got to get of a moderate voter or something like that. That's fine to have a discussion. But for us, especially in the midterm, we got to make sure people are motivated in this coalition that's this diverse working, multi-ethnic working class party believes that when we say we're going to do something, we go do it. So I do think it's important.
Thank you, Senator. And Godspeed. Everybody follow Senator Schmidt right here. He's on his way to 100,000 subs. Thank you. Thank you. See you back in D.C. or hopefully actually in the new headquarters of Boeing. You know what I mean? The new Boeing headquarters.
St. Louis, brother.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let's go tour the factory. Thank you, Senator.
Yeah.
On, baby. We say yes to Advantage Gold, of course. Advantage Gold was a sponsor of our stream last night. Great company, man. Golden Era. Couldn't imagine a better sponsor. Gold, the Golden Era. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly the time when you should be considering your investments. You can see that there's some ups and downs on markets all across the world. That's because the world is changing. We predicted this. We also predicted that gold was going to skyrocket. Certainly has. The point is that you can just financial whiz. All right, don't let me do your taxes. You'll go to jail. I'm just saying that it's like pretty obvious that when something is the laws of scarcity, and also there's a reason why governments all around the world are hoarding as much gold as they possibly can. Now, don't check Fort Knox. Would love to see what's inside there, but you can build your own Fort Knox by investing with Advantage Gold today. Text Advantage Gold. Texting Benny to 85545 right now. That's BENNY to 85545. You'll instantly get your free gold investment kit. And don't wait. The gold rally is breaking records. Text Benny to 85545 right now. Solid gold guest and Rudy Giuliani, who is locked and loaded and ready to go. Rudy, welcome back to the program. Let's go. Rudy, what's up, man?
How are you, Ben?
Hey,
great speech last night.
Doing good. Yeah, wasn't it?
Like you, I think I've watched every major Trump speech. I'm sure I have. I was there at many of them, and I helped write some. So I would say, without any fear that I'm insulting anyone that worked on a speech with me for him back then, this was the best all-round speech he's ever given.
Wow.
In that it accomplished its purpose 100%. Rarely does a speech accomplish its purpose 100%. You'll take 80. But what did he have to do? I mean, real simple. He had to reconnect with the American people. If he isn't reconnected already, I mean, we have to believe the polls. We got nothing else. So nothing wrong with believing him. I doubt him a little. I don't think he's as far off as they say he is, but I'm going to assume he is. You couldn't have done better. I mean, he immediately addressed what theoretically is their affordability issue, took it apart for any reasonably intelligent person. The economy is so much better than it was a year ago. Not only that, where it has a little weakness, it's starting to show strength, and you can almost predict where it's going to be 6 months from now. And then, of course, the line you were just talking to the senator about will be part of State of the Union history. He could not have divided the two political parties more honestly, really. It wasn't as if he took advantage of some cheap political trick, do you love this? Do you love that? Do you love this? That's a basic question. I mean, they literally, in the sanctuary cities, put the non-rights, because non-citizens don't really have rights. They have sort of rights that we grant them. Do you put non-citizens ahead of citizens? Or do you put citizens ahead of non-citizens? To fail to answer that question is to fail to be an American, according to Abraham Lincoln, not Rudy Giuliani. Abraham Lincoln said, the quality of your citizenship is the quality of your dedication to America. And because we can't define America any other way. We're not all German, we're not all Irish, we're not all whatever you want to say, Jewish, we're not all this, we're not that, we're not all white, black. We are a country that's based on basic principles and basic beliefs. And dedication to the country, love of the country, is a dividing principle. And he show it. Now, is that a campaign ad or is that a campaign ad?
Yeah, it's a beautiful campaign ad.
But a high level one that's about the most important question we have. Do you really want to be my fellow citizen or don't you? Do you really think Somalia is better? I mean, they have better voter ID, as you pointed out. Maybe you want to go to Somalia with a better voter ID. And they probably let you steal without going to jail. I mean, there are some possibilities there for Somalia.
What a moment, man. He went directly at Ilhan Omar. You could see him turning in the dais and looking straight down the barrel. He looked right at Ilhan Omar when he was talking about Somali fraud in Minnesota. He hit that just out of the park, and you could see how uncomfortable she was. And she started like screaming and ranting and raving. You hate to see it. There's just, you're not going to win with the American people when you have somebody who was like a refugee a couple of years ago. And then here she is from this like third world backwater, like shrieking with all this strange, very odd sources of income. She's now a multi-millionaire. So shady. It's just not a winning message. It's not a winning look for Democrats. What more could you ask for here than making Ilhan Omar the foil? He took the bait too.
She took the bait by getting angry. She took the bait by it may very well be a religious a principle that she's applying. I know it really isn't. Muslims have choice about how they dress, and you can look Muslim and look more American than that. Here we are worried about the issue of assimilation, which is another Abraham Lincoln principle. You don't come here to remain Somali. You don't come here to remain Italian. You don't come here to remain German. You don't come here to remain whatever it is you were. You're coming here because you want this country more. There are definable reasons that you come here, which is what has made us. When we talk about the great immigration of the past, it's no comparison with the Biden invasion. They're two different things. The great immigration of the past, even the illegals in the past, by and large, had a reason to come here that had to do with working, advancing. Now, they were cheating. They were hurting other people that were coming here. People that are coming here now are just coming here for all kinds of terrible, the kinds of reasons that occur when you have no vetting at the border. The kind of reasons that occur if you open the door of your house, and rather than let your friends in or people you like, you let everybody come in that wants to come in. As soon as they find out you have a house like that in the neighborhood, all the crooks come there. That's essentially what happened in the world. As soon as they found out that the door was open, nobody's going to even attempt to look, even the way Obama looked or the way Clinton looked. Every crook that could make it came in, and every crooked government sent people here. So this particular group of immigrants cannot be compared to past groups, including past illegal ones. I used to be in charge of immigration twice. In one case in the Ford administration, in another case in the Reagan administration. We had a terrible Mario boat lift. We had Haitian, 100,000 a month, but nothing like this. And except for the definite crooks that Castro sent in, which was about a quarter, that illegal group was a group that we had to deal with in order to protect legal people. but they weren't, it is true, by and large criminal. Now they use that. The New York Times uses that group that was coming here to take care of fields and work in restaurants. And they're comparing it to this group. They came in with the door wide open. This group is much higher percentage of just pure criminals and violent criminals. You can't compare the two. It's apples and oranges.
You spent a ton of time as a prosecutor, Rudy. Obviously, you very much know your way around a courthouse, prosecution, American law, and jurisprudence. And so I want to just ask you sort of off the, and since you were, I didn't actually know that you had such a rich immigration background. Perhaps you could give us just a quick takeaway on what you think is going on with Ilhan Omar. I mean, it seems pretty demonstrable that there have been quite a few immigration crimes that her and her family have committed. She comes from a very, very dark and mysterious background in Somalia. Many people saying that her family is war criminals and so on. How exactly would you investigate Ilhan Omar?
I think it would be pretty easy, actually. I mean, first, you get all the documents that presently exist. Probably in Somalia, there aren't too many good records, I wouldn't think. It seems like a pretty strong allegation that she was married at some point to her brother. Now, here's the interesting part, as I remember it. Her brother would be deportable for immigration fraud. But if you marry a citizen and it's fraud for them, even if you're naturalized, I'm not sure you can take away citizenship on that basis. You certainly can prosecute her and put her in jail for it. Mm-hmm. Is she guilty of that? I don't know. It's never been seriously investigated. There's an awful lot of facts that you've collected, I've collected, but are they real? Can you prove them? It sounds like the odds are pretty good. Yeah. Also, her involvement in this fraud, it could be a coincidence that she's worth nothing. The community steals between $1 and $9 billion based on legislation she passed, and she becomes a multimillionaire. Mm-hmm. The last time I saw that fraud being a coincidence, I was about 2 years old, wasn't able to think. As a prosecutor, I smell it. I mean, what can I tell you? $9 billion into a crooked community. The person who helped pass the law that made it possible to do that, she goes from being a pauper to one of the richest people in the community. And the husband's business doesn't grow during that period of time. I don't know. I would certainly think it was a good devotion of prosecutorial resources to put 3 or 4 of my best people on that and see what we could come out with. And if we didn't come out with a fraud, okay, we're not going to prosecute an innocent person.
We looked into this. We went pretty viral the other day for looking into Ilhan Omar's winery. I mean, it doesn't take a whiz investigator. I'm no federal. I don't have a taxpayer salary, right, to go investigate this stuff. But we do have AI and we do have Google image search, and so we were able to find out that this winery, which by the way you're not allowed to own as a Muslim, of course, Muslims can't own or consume alcohol. This winery this very curious winery that she owns, this thing is a ghost. She's claiming that it's worth $5 million. Not only is it completely not real, the winery doesn't make any wine, but also, Rudy, it's been sued for fraud by their original investors who just put in a couple $100,000. So to claim that it's worth $5 million on your congressional record is I think a crime.
Yeah, if you could, if you get an evaluation of it that's solid, that it's worth $2, and they put down $5 million, that's a crime. That's a felony. Normal people get prosecuted for it. If it were a Democratic administration, they'd make her Secretary of Agriculture. In an honest America, they'd put her in a penitentiary.
That's right. Okay. Well, all right. I do want to move on to what's happening in your beloved city of New York City.
Do we have to?
Well.
No, I'm not serious.
There's a famous line from Dave Chappelle, right? And one of his, famous comedies. Gotcha, bitch, right? That's exactly what happened with Mandami here.
Yeah.
Nobody has free grocery stores or free buses. Nobody has their rent locked in. Everybody's paying more taxes. And they're taking it out on the cops. I mean, this was something that I know is going to like hurt your feelings a lot, is how these NYPD are being treated as they're pelted with snowballs, rocks, and ice in what I think is without a doubt like an attempted murder in some cases, because these are huge blocks of ice that could really hurt someone. They're thrown right at their heads.
It's not without occasion that does happen. There were a couple of serious injuries, no death, thank God. But throwing snowballs seems like fun, and kids throw it for fun. But look at the way they're landing. Those are not being thrown for fun. Those are being thrown as hard as they can.
These aren't kids. It's a mob. There's a mob of like military-age men that are chasing them.
And it's the symbol of it also. I mean, the symbol can't be ignored. You have the greatest police department, the largest police department in America, being routed by a group of illegals or otherwise, well, they're all illegal and throwing things at cops. I do think the police should have turned around as a group and arrested every single damn one of them, whatever it took. And I would defend them against the civilian complaints, although I'm disbarred. Maybe I could do that, or I could get lawyers to do it. But I cannot believe, I'm thinking of my 4 uncles and 2 cousins who were cops. I'm thinking of the men and women I served with, some of whom are my lifelong friends, including Bernie Kerrick, who has passed on. And I'm sorry, guys, I love you. I really love you. I love all of you, and I know what you're going through. You shouldn't have walked around, turned around. You should have stood there, and you should have arrested every single one of them. And then you probably would have lost your jobs. I'm serious. He's changed the complaint review board. You know, people don't notice these little things. Everybody on the complaint review board is a virulent anti-cop hater, which means if some organized criminal who's beaten up 15 cops says, when the police officer arrested me, he slapped me across the face, police officer would say, I would never slap anybody across the face. If I did anything, I'd punch the hell out of him. The Civilian Review Board would fine for the criminal and dismiss the police officer. That's essentially what you've got. You know how the D.C. Circuit was to the January 6th people? That's what the Civilian Review Board will be to the New York City police officer. Now, in their defense, where I said they didn't turn around and fight, they'd all would have been up on a charge. The guys they fought with committing the crimes would be let go by Communist Bragg. And they would all be suffering either penalties, fines, dismissal, demotion. That's why they're doing that. Better to walk and fight another day. But it is. I also believe many things like that produce crime. When people see that, criminal types see that, even outside of New York, they say to themselves, "Hey, we're in charge." I thought when the baby mayor of Minneapolis, Halfwood Fry, gave up the police station, that caused about half of the animus that occurred all over America.
That's right.
I said it at the time. I predicted it the moment he did. I said, never saw a mayor do that. Never heard one do it again. Should have been impeached for it. And he's still there causing trouble and getting people killed. Terrible.
Just a quick take, Mayor, on the state of New York. I mean, obviously the video that we played is enough to show you that the place is not going to be doing well, and that there's going to be some real problems. I mean, it seems like every single day there's a new really bad headline under the Mandami regime. But the one that I thought was fascinating was the middle-class taxes, right? It was going to be the billionaire taxes. It's going to be the rich white neighborhoods, he said. It's funny how that always happens. It happened with the income tax. The income tax was going to be for rich white people 100 years ago. And now, of course, it's a scourge on the entire nation. That's pissed off a lot of people, and they're all like saying, well, wait a second. I'm getting what I voted for? This isn't good.
Well, maybe that will somehow convince the people of New York who have had this problem for a long time, like Chicago, to stop listening to this. This isn't the first time that a Democrat mayor has said, I'm just going to tax the rich, and he taxed the poor and the middle class. It's almost It's almost a signal. I mean, I almost interpret it as he just told us he's going to do across the board taxes. It's been that way now for 50 years. So it's about time that intelligent people wake up to it. Here's the thing with Mondami. They're going to get everything they voted for. I mean, the guy is for real a dedicated hater of America, virulent hatred of the Jewish people. I mean, in his shoes. I mean, he despises the Jewish people for reasons that almost get to the point of serious psychological problem. He is a supporter of Islamic murderers and terrorists, and he's a dedicated Marxist. And he is either too young and too naive or too dedicated not to go ahead with what he wants to do. He somewhere believes these things are, in his sinister soul, he believes these things are correct. Hates religion. First mayor in over a century not to show up for the induction of the Archbishop of New York. Catholic mayors, Protestant mayors, non-religious mayors, Jewish mayors all showed up, as we would for the Greek patriarch or the head of Temple Emmanuel. It's one of the ways in which mayors, even some of the dumbest people you ever met who were mayor of New York, and some of the most crooked that you ever met, like Jimmy Walker, all of them understood that way of bringing people together. I spent as much time in synagogues and Protestant churches as I did in Catholic, and I'm Catholic. And I went to show respect. I went to Mass to show respect to my citizens. He has no understanding of that, and probably a hatred of it as a Marxist, because religion is hated among Marxists. They don't just disagree with religion.
That's right.
Marx hated two things most of all: parents and God.
It's important to know. It's important to know your scriptures. It's also important to know your history. It's important to read the Communist Manifesto if you want to see what's actually happening and what the future holds.
It's short, very short. Communism, very short. You can get it like that, and you'll see Mondami in front of your eyes when you read it. You'll just see him.
Real fast, Mr. Mayor. You got to have an ID to shovel snow. Got to have an ID to shovel snow in New York, not to vote. Here we go. Isn't it great?
That is nuts.
Isn't it great?
You got to have an ID. You
have five forms of ID to shovel snow. Of course, they are against voter ID, though.
And in Somalia, you told me.
Yeah, well, yes, that's right. We looked this up. Look at this, Somalia. Voter registration in Mogadishu. Isn't that great?
You know what I'd love you to think about and talk about with the people you have on? We get a little more wisdom on it. Here are two issues that should split the Democrat Party right in half. One is this: ID. 70% of Democrats, 75%, 80%, 70% of blacks, Hispanics, all believe we should have ID. If you go to Harlem and you ask people questions like they did a few years ago, they want to throw you out by insulting them and saying they're too stupid to have IDs. They call you racist for saying that, what the Democrats are doing. Second, school choice. 75% of African-American parents, 80% of Hispanic parents believe that the public school system doesn't serve their children. The teachers' union is the enemy of their children, and they want a voucher. They want choice. They want to take the money, redirect it to them, and they will put it in the schools, or we can put it in the schools for them. Now, 90% of the Democrat politicians are against that. The person that a parent is voting for in their district in a black area, when this person wants a better education for their child and wants a voucher, is blocking it. I don't understand how we have not been able as a party to turn that single issue around to if not a majority, a very, very good percentage of the minority. They agree with us on the most important issue to parents, education. And they vehemently disagree with the Democrats, and the Democrats own their vote. Let's say Chicago is a great example. Chicago blacks want choice. They want vouchers. The Democratic black politicians of Chicago uniformly vote against it because they're controlled not by the good of their community, the black community, they're controlled by the good of their pocket from the union. And we can't make that conversion. There must be a genius in our party who can figure that out. There has to be. And I've been looking for him for 30 years.
Yeah, it's a
We're going to find it.
It's a messaging. It's a simple messaging problem. It's
Yeah,
wild.
it is.
The DNC convention, at the DNC convention, I went into Obama's neighborhood and I just asked black people, very poor. It was a strip mall. It was not a fun place to be. There's chicken bones on the sidewalk and filth everywhere and trash. And I was just asking these black residents of the south side of Chicago, like, what do you think? DNC convention was going on. Obama was speaking that night. I was like, Obama or Trump, what do you want? And like to a woman, I got Trump. To a letter. Not a single one wanted Obama. They all wanted Trump back. And we published that video. You'd think I'm lying. We published every response in order. And it's like dozens. And from a poll perspective, you could extrapolate that out. Dozens and dozens of like people from Obama's neighborhood saying, give me Trump. So
well, we had the same experience.
It's a messaging thing. It's a messaging thing, Rudy. We don't have enough good messengers.
We had the same experience in East Harlem, where the Hispanic community exists. A reporter, Cara Castronova, who now reports with us at the White House. She's a White House reporter. You see her asking very good questions. The president loves her. Calls on her first all the time. But Cara took him up to East Harlem. She arranged that originally because she went up there thinking she'd get like 50-50 to Hispanic people. Right. Are you going to vote for Biden or Trump? Trump. Are you going to vote Trump? Now she started looking for a Biden. She couldn't get one. Honestly, she comes back to me and says, Mayor, this is the truth. This is not a fix. I couldn't get a single one. She goes back. She gets 1 out of 20. And that she brought it to the campaign and they did that great, everyone wondered, why did they do a rally there in Harlem? She had been there 4 times and he was ahead like 80-20. Right? Now he only carried 30% of it. What happened?
It's all fake, man.
I think I know, but I think if there's a new Biden administration or something like it, it'll be capital punishment to say the election was fixed.
We're thankful that you said it. We look forward to seeing more updates out of the raid in Fulton County. We thank you, Rudy, for being on the program.
Yeah, you can now prove about 3 different ways how that one was fixed. I mean, that's that. And when you see the ballots, you'll see exactly why.
You got the update on that? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, why do you think they're fighting down to the wire? It's 5 years ago, and they still don't want to show the ballots, including our Republican governor and our Republican secretary.
Because the ballots are fake. Because the ballots were printed.
The ballots were printed. I'm going to say, now this is an allegation I could never prove, but I had 3 witnesses and they were a little nervous about testifying to it. They claim and have some pictures that show that a couple of blocks away, there was a little factory, and the little factory was printing ballots by the thousands. And a lot of the ballots are not marked by a pen. They're done by a machine, and they have no down ballot because the machine couldn't do governor, lieutenant, whatever else was on, councilman. So you've got a this we do know. We have a disproportionate number of single ballot Biden votes. And most of it was done in Fulton County. You don't have to get out of Fulton County to prove the fraud.
Got it all,
man. Fulton County was crooked as you saw with Fannie the Hoe, crooked as hell.
Trump says we got him, so we will wait.
Trump
will wait and see. Watch
Trump
your phone.
Whenever I walk in any place where he is, the first thing he does, not the first thing, as soon as he sees me, he says, see, Rudy was right. Rudy was right.
Yeah, Rudy was right. And 2 million, we're just going to round up, 2 million subscribers here on his X account. Follow Rudy Giuliani. And also he has the Rudy Giuliani show that is live. Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you very much.
God bless you, man.
Thank you. God bless you, too.
Fannie the Hoe. I'm just processing that one. Wasn't ready for that one. Okay. All right. Good. Sometimes you gotta just reconnect and say, wow, that just happened. Pretty cool. Reconnect with your cell phone service provider using Patriot Mobile. Reconnect with a company that actually loves America instead of hates America. Kind of the theme of the show. And that wants you to stay connected with American patriots all around the country because they're the only Christian conservative wireless provider in the world. Patriot Mobile has premium priority access to all 3 major networks and a 100% US-based support team. No rerouting to India, Scammerland. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you are supporting countries, supporting companies. Well, both, actually. To talk about India. Support countries, America, and companies, Patriot Mobile, that actually align with your value system. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, call 972-PATRIOT. Use the promo code Benny for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Benny or 972-PATRIOT to make the switch today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've got, I love this one. I got an ultrasound to head to. I got to go to an ultrasound for my 5th kid. Got it today, and I don't want to be late. So we're going to leave you with the verse of the day and say thank you so much for supporting us in our program. Jeremiah 7:3. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, reform your ways and your deeds so that I may dwell with you in this place. God cannot suffer sin. God does not suffer indolence. God does not suffer filth. You have to have a pure heart. You are fallen and sunken, as am I, and that is why I'm a simple Christian, because Christ is the way. Christ covers our sins and allows for us to dwell with our Creator for eternity, but also on this mortal plane. And God was with us, Klein, wasn't he, yesterday? Just getting this live done was like a straight up miracle. And so we thank you. Record-setting, record-breaking. We're grateful and we're thankful, and we're practicing that here in the year 2026. Thank you. March with us. It's your boy Benny. Remember, in the end, we win. See ya.
Crime down, stocks up, that's the way we like it, Trump. Border on lock, gas is low, the fentanyl flow down, enemies are slow down, this is how we dominate. Guess what, everything will be okay. Guess what day, it is. It's hump day. Get it all.
That is disgusting.
Get it all.
The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and a dying legacy, media deal weeds. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind, assault from lives for fun. Be the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. Show come to mind, assault from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest king.